Elevation is a very important dimension for understanding Melbourne's wealthy eastern suburbs, something we've mentioned repeatedly in our previous analyses. Toorak is a very typical example of this. Its development wasn't straightforward, but rather shaped by expanding outwards in layers from the high ground like ripples in water. So today I want to analyse with you where the true core of Toorak is and which parts were added later. This is very significant for our understanding of the value of Toorak real estate. Let's look at the first layer, which is the early development stage, the 19th century. This was between 1849 and 1854. This stage was a key phase in Toorak's development. At that time, wealthy individuals in Melbourne who had finished accumulating capital began choosing settlement sites in the eastern suburbs. Due to Toorak's natural geographical advantages, it was located south of the Yarra River, occupying the high ground facing north over the valley. The terrain offered open views, being near the city yet away from urban congestion and close to centres of power. During this period, Como House in 1847 and Toorak House in 1849 were built one after another. These two mansions paved the way for top-tier neighbourhoods in the eastern suburbs. In 1854, when Victoria's governor moved his official residence to Toorak House, it gave the area an unmatched status of power. 20 years later, when the Victorian government's lease ended, Toorak House was quickly subdivided into 137 lots, forming Toorak's initial luxury layout. Subsequently, the area around Albany and Irving Roads began development from 1880 to 1990. They are all located at the highest elevation points in Toorak. In terms of architectural style, there are many pure Victorian estates on St George Road, while Albany Road began to see a large number of Edwardian and Federation-style red brick mansions. Moving to the second level, the stage of systemic reinforcement, which occurred in the first half of the 20th century. Between 1900 and 1940, Toorak began to enter its second stage. At this time, Toorak no longer relied solely on its early location and power endorsement, but rather more on a complete social structure, such as private schools, club networks, intermarriage between old money families, and so on. This structure was actually more stable. During this period, neighbourhoods adjacent to the core area also entered a phase of large-scale development and construction, such as Lancel Road, Hayington Place, as well as the area around Clendon Road and Hopetoun Road. During this period, the style of Toorak's luxury homes was also evolving. Federation and Edwardian-style residences continued to emerge during this stage. But between the two world wars, Tudor Revival and Georgian Revival styles gradually became mainstream, especially the Georgian style, which emphasized symmetrical proportions, privacy, and the character of traditional British estates. Even today, the Clendon Road and Hopetoun Road areas still retain many buildings from this period. But the third major stage of Toorak's development was the post-war residential infill phase, spanning from 1950 all the way to the year 2000. If the pre-World War II era formed an original core dominated by topography and old money families, then after World War II, Toorak entered a phase of infill development. After 1950, due to the popularity of cars and the rapid expansion of the professional class, the importance of commuting efficiency began to rise, so the relatively lower parts of Toorak and some peripheral areas began to be filled with housing or redeveloped. For example, some blocks along the east side of Orrong Road and Williams Road and near the borders of South Yarra and Armidale and so on. In these places, apartments and townhouses began to appear. Analysing from the above timeline, it's precisely because Toorak was gradually shaped in different ways during different historical stages, progressing from high to low, that it formed Toorak's very distinct ripple development pattern. The above is our JL Real Estate summary of Toorak's development. We hope it's useful to everyone.